Okay, so you're about to begin a lab. I'm going to caution you all the details. You should not start this lab until you have completed all of the activities under E5.4-7 because this activity is going to draw on all aspects of the greenhouse effect. So if you have not yet completed all the activities, all the required activities for E5.4-7, I would stop. I would go back, I would finish those first before you go forward with this actual lab. Just as a precaution, because it's going to draw on all of the knowledge and all the things that you have been learning about regarding the greenhouse effect. And if you jump into this too soon, you're going to struggle simply because you weren't ready and you weren't prepared for it. So again, hit stop if you have not completed all the E5.4-7 activities. If you have, then let's continue. This is going to be a two-part actual video. The first part is going to explain to you what the lab is. The second part is going to go into the specific things that you're going to have as far as materials for this lab, and talking about what things look like, where you can find it, so on and so forth. So let's get into the targets. The focus of this lab is solely on E5.4-7. It's going to focus your time and energy on, can you explain the actual natural mechanisms of the greenhouse effect, so the things that actually cause the greenhouse effect to take place here on Earth. The second thing is we're going to look at the different types of greenhouse gases and how they can play an important role in the greenhouse effect in causing potential changes in global temperatures, global climates, all of those things. So those are the learning targets. This is a brand new lab, and having done it myself, I really like it, just because it really goes to show how the greenhouse effect truly does affect climates and temperatures. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it, but I think it'll do a really nice job of taking all of those things that you've been hearing, watching, and also listening to and reading, and kind of sum it up. So let's go ahead and get started. The task for you today as you're watching the video is, the first thing you want to do after watching this, you're going to want to jump right in it and read the background information, which you'll find just below here. You'll want to read it carefully because there are details in there that are going to be very important for you and this lab. The second is read the lab description, which you'll find as soon as that ends, you'll find the lab description written right here. And again, this will give you an idea about what it is, the whole purpose of the lab. What is your actual goal? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then go on from there. Once you've read that, you'll want to ask myself or Mr. Fusak for the actual lab materials. So we'll have a box with some of the things in it that you will need to complete the lab. Once you get the materials, you'll want to read through the actual problem, and then you'll want to begin the actual process. This will be your fourth time in which you have written a lab report for us in class. This one will be graded. This is a summative. The nice part for most of you is that you do not have to make your list and you do not have to create your list of procedures. We are going to provide those for you. That will help, especially with this type of lab. So you'll read and perform the actual procedures. You'll create your list of materials. Once you create your graph, you'll write your conclusion. You'll create your title, your introduction, and then eventually answer the discussion questions that come with it. So let's go ahead and just kind of skip ahead right to where you get to the process regarding the lab itself. So where it says name, make sure that you are putting your name. You are more than welcome to work with somebody else on this lab, but I would caution you that you do not want to work with you're only allowed to work with two people, and that's it. So it's you and one other person, two people in a group. Not that you can go work with two other people. So anyway, groups of two, or you can do it all by yourself. We have enough materials to go around. It shouldn't be a problem. Okay. So the problem that you are being asked to solve is, what is the greenhouse effect? So through this experiment, you're going to gain information, gain data to support the problem. What is the actual greenhouse effect? So your hypothesis, you'll come up with the if, the then, and because based upon what you expect to happen. You'll list your materials, and then you'll come across where it says procedures. As I've mentioned before, You just simply read through here. All the materials are listed there. What we have done differently, however, is we found that cutting a rubber stopper is actually quite difficult. So what we decided to do instead is we decided to get rubber stoppers that have a little hole directly smack dab in the middle. And what you'll do is you'll simply just insert, or if you don't want to, we will do it for you. We'll insert the actual thermometer right into that, and it will just hang there. So yeah, like I said, a little difficult to cut the rubber stoppers, so instead we went to ones that have holes in it, and we'll put the actual thermometer through there for you. Okay, so you read through the procedures, you follow them very carefully. There's some very important details. You use the actual light source, thermometer, the soil, and all those things to set it up, and then you run your actual tests. And while you're running your tests, here's your data table. Note, I want you to make sure you get this. Light on when you are running the actual lab with the light source on. This is where you record your data. When you're recording your data for the light off procedure, you want to record it in this particular place. And also note where the open bottle versus the closed bottle version is in both of these data tables, open and closed, to make sure that you are correctly placing that information in the correct column. Then you'll see the graph space that we've provided for you to create your graph, and then also to write your conclusion. Okay? And then the discussion questions that follow. All right? So, if you have any questions about any of these things before you start watching part 2, feel free to ask.